Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. I hope this video finds you in good health. I am going to be covering these 3 inserts. They're from Michaels and they do come in a 3-pack, and I have a dot grid here, but I believe if you get the 3-pack, you get varying paper types. So you get a dot grid, a lined, and a blank, I think, but all of mine are dot grid because Robin had a few packs of these and she just gave me all the dot grids because she knows it's my favorite. So I am taking all 3 and I'm going to use them as a set as my next journal. And I've picked out scrapbook papers to cover them all, and they all end up sort of coordinating. So right here, I tried to trim off a little bit extra because it was a little too tall for the notebook, and I totally shredded that edge, and just it was already not boding well for me. So I'm trying to trim it up and smooth out that edge, and I was hoping that it would still completely cover the notebook, but it doesn't. And because that cover is so bright, you can see the pink at the top, and that's me kind of giving up. But what I ended up doing was I took the extra piece and cut a little piece and glued that down so that it could go edge to edge, and it ended up working out really great, much better than I thought it would. You can't really tell if you look at it now unless you're really looking for it. And I end up putting other stuff on the cover too to kind of distract from the break in the pattern, but it's not too bad, so I'm happy with it. And I didn't have any extra of this, so I had to make it work or I wasn't going to be able to use it. And I really like this paper. I think it's so cute. I like the army green color that it has. It just kind of breaks up the florals that I've been using pretty much exclusively up until now. So it worked out, thank goodness. But can we talk about this paper that are in these inserts? Robin always told me that the Michaels inserts had really good quality paper, but I never translated that into being fountain pen friendly. And I was so surprised because I did a little pen test in the back of one of these, and I used my TWSBI Eco with the medium nib, and I used Organic Studio Nitrogen, which is such a wet ink, and that's such a fat nib. And not only did it not bleed through, but I had no ghosting or shadowing. And I just literally stared at it for an entire minute with my mouth hanging open because I was not expecting that. What is that? Maybe I have some flukes or something. I don't know, but I'm 100% happy using these. And when I decided that I was going to use these inserts, I thought and I expected to just use my Uniball Signo in my 0.5, my favorite basic black pen, and I thought I wouldn't be able to enjoy my fountain pens in this. And it gave me enough pause to think that maybe I shouldn't use these as my next journal and that I should use actual fountain pen friendly paper instead. But I mean, it just worked out. So I was so happy to decorate these and get into these and be able to use these up since they've been in my stash for a little while. And it's the year of use, right? So I was really wanting to use these things that have just been collecting dust, and I haven't wanted to buy new things. And okay, let's get into the huge journal funk that I was in. My last journal were the Midori MD light notebooks in the B6 Slim, but they were lined paper. And I'm constantly dragging lined paper because it's just it's not for me. And I was loving the way that okay, hold on. I have been loving the way that I've been journaling, where I add decor, and I've really been enjoying my fountain pens, and I have a way that I like to decorate my covers. And I figured with all of those elements that I love, surely I would be able to get past lined paper. And now we all know what a catastrophe that turned out to be. So it was really important for me that my next journal be something that I completely love. So it was such a great find that these inserts were fountain pen friendly, because then I knew it was the size that I wanted, it was the paper layout I wanted, and I could use all of my favorite stuff. So yeah, the whole situation just ended up being fantastic. But it also brought up a lot of questions for me, because the only reason that I was using those lined inserts were to use the things that I had, to not be wasteful, to just thin out the amount of stuff that I had. And what I found was, when I was in those B6Slim inserts, I was not journaling for days at a time. I mean, it was terrible for my past habits of journaling. Skipping days at a time is just so unlike me. And it's sad to see, now that I'm on the other end of it. And I just keep thinking about all the things that I missed out on documenting. And then when I did write in it, I wasn't writing at my usual level. I wasn't going in to tons of detail. I was skipping things. And when I skip days, once I start writing again, my writing tends to be really jumpy, because I feel like I'm trying to cover a whole lot of stuff at once. It really made my journaling experience quite unpleasant. And it made me think about this upper limit of dedication to using the things that we have in our stash. That there's obviously some things that I'm okay with powering through, even though they may not be my favorite. And then knowing that I need to sell or rehome some things that I just really shouldn't be forcing myself to work through. I ended up using those inserts fully, but now I know that I cannot accept anything that's way out of my comfort zone, because though Robin had given me those, she didn't like them because I don't think she liked the paper. So she gave those to me after I accepted, because I knew I liked B6Slim. But hey, now I know, lesson learned. I don't want a repeat of that. So I skipped ahead in the video here because I was trying to arrange how I wanted all of the decor on the front, and that took ages. So I got everything where I wanted it, but I didn't stick it down. So this is me finally committing and sticking down all the stuff. So surprise, surprise, I am using butterfly washi flakes and mushroom girls. As I was working on the covers, I found that I was able to incorporate my mushroom girls and the butterflies on all three of them, which I hadn't really decided on that beforehand, and I was happy to see it worked out that way. And it makes them all look so nice together as a journaling set. And at the end of the video, I will show the traveler's notebook that I'm putting them all in. They are journals 4, 5, and 6, but I am going to be working on them one at a time. But since they look so good together, I just have them all together in a traveler's notebook. And I don't know if you could tell at the beginning of the video, in this particular insert, there's already writing in it, because I was so thrilled to find out they were fountain pen friendly, I didn't want to wait until the covers were done before I worked in them. So I dove right in. I was so excited. And I can't tell you how quickly it made me regain my excitement for journaling again. I was so happy to start writing in these. The size was so familiar to me, and it was just what I needed. Basically, like everything about these journals were what I needed to pull myself out of that funk, and it did it so fast. So yeah, super great decision to do this. I'm using those black labels. I just love those things. I actually have a backup pack because I'm petrified that I'm not going to be able to find them at some point. They're from Hobby Lobby and they're there all the time. So I don't know what I'm freaking out about. Probably because I just really love them so much. But I have my Dymo label maker, and I've gotten into the habit of punching out journal and putting those on each insert, and whatever month is encompassed in that particular insert, I will make a label for the month too and put it there right next to journal. And I really like that. For some reason, it's just become my go-to way of labeling my journals. So the other two will just get the journal label for now until I figure out what month it is when I'm working in them. So there's my Uniball Signo white gel pen. That's what I like to use to write on my black labels. So this is going to look really funky, especially in the next ones. But so that's journal number 4. So I wrote out 4. And then I like to put the year 2020. So that's what I've always been doing on my black labels. I write 2020 and then the journal number. But I was trying to be fancy and trying to switch things up a little, and you can't even read them properly in these next ones. Like it looks like I'm writing 25. Yeah, this is journal number 5. So I've got the 5 there, and then I write out 20. And it ends up reading like 25C. And then I put the next 20 down there. So it's a mess, but I know what it says. Hopefully I do when I'm an old woman looking back on my journals. I'm sure I'll just be confused, but whatever. And so this is 6. This ends up just looking like 2026. So I think I need to reevaluate how I'm doing this. And any suggestions would be nice. But I do just like using my white gel pen. Yes, so this is journal number 2026. And what else do I do? Oh yeah, so this is what I found. Here is my Mod Podge. I do not Mod Podge my entire covers anymore because in particular, it does not stick to my Mushroom Girls, and I can't have that. It peels right off of them, but I just figured I'm not going to do it on the entire cover anymore. So as you can see, I'm putting the Mod Podge just on the black label because what I find is that white gel pen, it rubs off. It rubs on whatever is opposite it in the setup, and it starts smearing over time. But what I found is when I put a layer of Mod Podge on it, it dries nice and clear, but it's basically a sealer. It seals the ink in, and it's awesome. See, look, it works. But it also makes the label darker, and the contrast is higher. So I feel like the white gel pen really pops on top of the blacker background. So I'm just going to give a little run through of how everything looks. I put those end papers in on the inside. I've gotten into a habit of folding the cover paper onto the inside, and I really like how that makes the edges. It also makes it a little bit more durable instead of having a raw edge there that can start peeling up. The raw edge is on the inside, so it's much more durable. I love how these look together. It makes me so happy and it's just what I needed. So the cover that I'm going to show, it's a brand new traveler's notebook to me. I got it actually back in January because I saw it on the buy sell trade. There it is. Oh, it's so pretty. So I got out of all the buy sell trade groups because I just didn't want to be tempted. I don't want to keep buying new things. And I've done pretty well over the last year. I've just gotten better and better. But the Sojourner fan group on Facebook is also a buy sell trade group. So I was scrolling through one day and I saw this and I had to have it. Like I had to. I don't have a Sojourner that I can use as a journal. I have a tiny like pocket-sized MISPA that I use as my address book, but that's no fun. And this was standard size. It was a traveler's notebook. It is a trifold, which I don't have. Do I? No, I don't have. This is the only trifold that I have in my collection. And I love it. I love how interesting it is. I love the extra piece of leather that folds over on the front. Just looks interesting. And then can we just take a moment for the texture that's on this? It's utterly insane. I should probably tell you what kind of leather it is. It is the Roadrunner, and I love it. So you can see how I was opening up the insert flat and then pinching the spine. I don't add any adhesive to the spine because I know when I open it, the paper is going to pucker, and I wanted to allow room for that. So I open them flat like this, and then I pinch the spine to give it a crease to work with when it wants to pucker when I open it like that. So I do that, and gosh, I love how these look together. It's amazing what this setup did to reignite my passion for journaling again. It's crazy. Anyway, I think I'm going to do another video, maybe, because I added a bit more decor into this cover, into the front pockets, or that pocket there with the 3 card pockets. I added some decor to that, and I don't know, that's not worth a video. Anyway, I'll probably post a photo on Instagram or something. Anyway, I hope things are going okay for you guys in your neck of the woods. I know we can all use a distraction for a little bit during our days. Just things that make us happy, like journaling and collaging. I'd love to know what you're doing to cope with the world situation now. We're all in this together, and I thank you so much for spending your time with me, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.